would so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Myrtle Beach. Right here on Monday night, it's the National Speed Association Round 2 of the Chase for the Championship. I am your host, Chris, and with me, as always, my good friend, Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, bud?
Well, I'm sitting here drinking a Coke, playing with my Uniline box cutter. They are the shipping supply specialists, in case you didn't know. And excited to be here, man. We've had this one circled on the calendar here for a while. I think it's going to be a good time here tonight in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, all season long, this one has been circled around, but hey, National Speed Association tonight brought to you by V-Speed. Go ahead and check them out. But you got to get right into the points here, Rick. Don't have a lot of time, presumably about 2 minutes before we get ready for qualifying here at Myrtle Beach. And up top in the points, no stranger. And obviously with the win last week, looking really strong in this points competition, Dalton Tucker in the number 24. Behind him, he's got Jared Mogard, just 13 points behind. Doug Hess in third. Todd Sargent, Charlie Widener, Jamie Christensen, Doug Wasaki, Justin McDuff, Josh Mayhew, and Chris Stump. Rounding out the top 10, interesting note here right now, Chris Stump in 10th spot in the points, but he is the man with the hot shoe here at this little track.
Yeah, right now, because I've been watching this practice going on since the server came up. And right now, he's got the fastest lap after doing 49 laps, which is kind of amazing with a 17.086.
Yeah, very, very amazing indeed, Rick. Got to fix something real quick here. Having a little bit of, that's better, technical difficulties here tonight, but we're plugging along, and that is the end of practice just in time. I think we have everything set and ready to go on our end, and that means, Rick, qualifying is coming right up. Dale Albright in 26, the first guy to step foot out on track. Albright's been having a good season, you know, not getting all the finishes that he wants, but always seems to be mentioned during these races.
Yeah, he likes to make the moves there. Now, one thing we saw him when he's coming off pit road, Chris, hit those little turtle shells there. The guys want to be careful of that tonight because that will wreck these cars like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely it will. You get onto one of those, it's going to push the car high, maybe get yourself into the outside retaining wall, and that will mess up your night.
Either that or you bounce off from it and you come down and the other one hits the oil pan.
Fair enough. Ooh, I clicked on Al Smith as he was just completed his first lap, getting ready for a second, and around and into the wall he went. AJ Hamill sitting in third spot right now. Jamie Christensen just bumps everybody down one, finishing second. Look how loose these cars are. Tommy Haynes, that beautiful bang 17 so far. Fast time, a 17.414. Good enough for fourth spot. See if that changes. It does. Tommy able to squeak out a 382. And just as I was falling over my own words, Jamie Christensen comes in, takes third away. Todd Sargent, he's had a great last couple of weeks. Todd Sargent right now sitting in seventh spot. We know he's got fans out there. Last week, even though it wasn't the race he was looking for, still ended up with a decent finish. The 25, Doug Hess, getting set to qualify his Chevy Camaro. Little short track racing as Hess scrubs into the wall. That's going to call it for him, but good enough for fourth spot here with a 17.289. And Chris Stone.
Yeah, this track a little different than what they've been racing on here this season, Chris. So this is going to be interesting tonight. It's going to look good though. I mean, the track temperature is 68, air temperature is 65, so they're getting ready to go out there and have a good time.
You know, you look at the stadiums that NASCAR races at right now, Rick, and what are the things that you and I have talked about several times? The stands. They're half empty. And that's that cookie cutter track mentality. It's always going to be the same and yada, yada, yada. These guys tonight here at the National Speed Association doing exactly what I think NASCAR needs to do. They need to implement some of these short track races. They need to bring back the roots of that sport as Chris Stump spins it around.
That's something that they're looking at. You know, Steve Phelps looking at doing that for the 2021 season. They are talking about it. So hopefully that is exactly what happens, Chris, because as much as I like racing those cookie cutter tracks, you know, it can get boring, especially for the fans. As a driver, I have fun on them. But just because I'm having fun doesn't mean people watching are having fun.
Dalton Tucker coming out. Remember, coming into tonight as your points leader, he's the only driver to win a race during the chase so far, as there's only been one other, but he absolutely comes in and crushes the field. A 17.077, good enough for the pole here tonight. That's a very fast lap.
It is a fast lap, Chris, but you know, Chris Stump had one a little faster than that in practice, so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, if Stump didn't go out and hit the wall, decided not to go back out for a second time, I think we're in for some pretty good racing out of the 24 and the 98 there.
Jared Mogard not taking a qualifying time with 30 seconds to go. Sitting second in points, Rick. That may not be the best thing to do here, unless he's just thinking, sit back, let it all unfold, and maybe I'll be there at the end.
Well, I'm not seeing him even out on track, Chris.
Yeah, he's in server.
He's not even in the server.
Well, he is. He's just not in car. I think he is.
No, I see there's 10 guys that have gone out there and qualified. I see Widener, Wysocki, and Garrett, the only three that have not taken.
This could be huge. Well, nonetheless, we're going to get ready to grid them up. On the pole tonight, driver of the number 24, that's Dalton Tucker on his outside. The number 98 of Chris Stump. Starting in row number 2, inside, the driver of the number 26, that's Dale Albright, and to his outside, the number 20, that's Justin McDuff. Starting inside, row number 3, the 9 of Jamie Christensen, and in 6th place tonight's going to be Doug Hess in the 25. Tommy Haynes picks up 7th spot in his number 17 with A.J. Hamill in 8th spot in his number 18. Al Smith Jr., good enough for a 9th place start with his Ford Mustang, starting 9th position. And Todd Sargent on his outside. And you've got Jared Mogard, who definitely does not seem to be in server. You may not be wrong there. Charlie Widener, Doug Wasaki, J.J. Garrett. Garrett picks up shotgun on the field as we get ready to roll. Sam's Jared Mogard. Huge points implication as he came in tonight, Rick. Only 13 points shy of the championship. And right now, the 24 out there on his own.
You're right. And these guys only got one more race after tonight, Chris. Next week, Homestead, Miami. It's going to be the championship race. So that is huge for the 00 not being out there on track here tonight.
Man, that's unfathomable. I would have bet my right arm that he was going to be here. The closest competition that Dalton Tucker has had all season long, not here tonight. Just the second race to the end. Pace car drops off on that backstretch. Cars entering turn number 3, getting ready to start under the green flag for the first time tonight. Dalton Tucker starts this one on the pole, and we go green flag racing from Myrtle Beach. Tucker with control on that inside line, the outside, not the preferred line here. Chris Stump got to hold on just to get in the second spot. He does and drops down below. Runs a slightly higher line and suffers a little bit of loss on track because of it. But Chris Stump holding on to second and third. It's Dale Albright. Albright being followed by Justin McDuff. McDuff, a one-time winner here this season in Bristol. Jamie Christensen in that blue number 9 car. Rounding out the top 5, Doug Hess sitting on just outside, and Tommy Haynes behind him. These guys running nose to tail with the exception of Dalton Tucker. Tucker starting to open up the lead on Chris Stump. And Rick, if I thought any track was going to play to Chris Stump's strengths here this season, it would have been this one.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected big things out of him out of Bristol there, but as you said, McDuff took the checkers there. So, you know, I mean, McDuff, another one of those guys who was really good on the short track, but, you know, Chris Stump not having the season so far that he has wanted, and trying to turn it around here at Myrtle Beach, where right now, like you said, Dalton Tucker in that Exalted number 24, man. He's not in the Napa know-how. He's in the Exalted 24, and I like that white paint scheme. It looks good out there. But he is just pulling away, like you said. Crazy gap right now, 1.233 seconds ahead of Chris Stump. But Stump hanging on, doing what he has to do. Albright sitting there in third, trying to catch up to Stump. The gap is starting to open up there, too.
Oh, Jamie Christensen going for a ride. Gets into the 25 of Doug Hess. And Christensen, hard impact into the 25. Not sure exactly what started it, just happened to catch it. We're going to go back and take a peek, Rick. That one was a big hit.
It was a big hit there. Looks like he just got a little bit loose.
So we're watching the 9, and yeah, sure enough, the rear end kicks right out on it and overcorrecting. The 25 and the 17 get involved. So here we are on lap 7, caution number 1 on the evening. And pit stops will start to happen. It looks like 6th position on back, going to come down pit road.
And that being Justin McDuff, AJ Hamill, Doug Hess, Todd Sargent, Tommy Haynes, Charlie Widener, Doug Wysocki, and Jamie Christensen all in pit road right now. Tucker, Stump, Albright, Garrett, Smith. They say nah. Only been a few laps.
Yeah, just 8 completed now, 1 under caution. And the 24, Dalton Tucker, was starting to open it up. Chris Stump really didn't have much for him. But race is early still. Stump, a crafty veteran of this iRacing and real world racing, may have chosen to just relax a little bit on the equipment for now. Rick kind of alluded to the fact that he wasn't having the season that he was looking for this year, and it's true. He has certainly not been the Chris Stump that Rick and I know, at least in this series, but that doesn't mean he's not going to try and win.
No, and he's been trying all season now. I mean, obviously, Chris Stump, we know him, Chris, as you said. You know, he's a short track guy, and we're used to seeing him in a late model, super late model, and the like there. But he's not doing, I mean, he's not having the season that he wants. He's not doing too bad. Comes in tonight, 10th in points. He's had 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. So not too bad. There was only 1 race where he didn't finish within the top 10. I mean, he's got 9 starts here at the season. He missed 1 race.
Cars folded in 2 by 2. Pace car coming down pit road. And Dalton Tucker waiting for that green flag. He's got Chris Stump to his outside. Tucker waits no more. He hits the loud pedal and he is gone. The 26 of Dale Albright trying to catch Chris Stump sleeping. And Albright right now battling it out for 2nd spot on the inside. Stump being stuck on the outside, starting to lose position.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Albright was smart. He didn't give the room to Chris Stump this time. But Stump trying to battle it out there on the outside, Chris. I mean, Albright's got JJ Fluffy Garrett out there sitting in 4th. He's racing him pretty hard there on the inside.
Yeah, Albright got into turn 3 really, really hot. Had to get on the binders, and the 35 made him pay, and here comes the rest. The 20, McDuff. The 18 of AJ Hamill working their way around the inside. Al Smith Jr. in the 96 trying to get there. May not have the momentum to do it yet. Albright looking to try and get back down into the race lane. Charlie Widener is sitting out there in 11th spot on the outside, not where he wants to be. He's to the outside of the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Widener being scored 1 lap down right now.
Ooh, big news, Chris. The 00 Jared Mogart back out on the server, out on the racetrack. It looks like he might have had a little bit of a connection issue. He's showing 13 laps down. That is unfortunate for the 00 tonight, but he is out there on track.
Yeah, that is going to be a tough battle. Trying to climb back from 13 laps down. Rick had a sequence with everybody, and just now trying to find his groove here on this track. Hopefully he's got some practice in before connection issues happen. But the 00 Jared Mogart is out there, albeit 13 laps down. Doug Hess in the 25. Rick is on pit road after that last caution. 25 has been there for about 4 minutes.
And that's unfortunate for Hess because he comes into tonight. I believe he was 3rd in points there. Moved up 1 position after last week in Michigan.
Chris Stump running in 2nd spot. Then it's JJ Garrett. The fluffy one himself with the number 35 sitting in 3rd spot. Another guy, Rick, really hasn't had the season that we were kind of expecting to see out of him. We know he's a talented driver, just haven't been able to see it out on track this season. McDuff trying to catch the back bumper of Garrett. That inside line, definitely the preferred line here. Garrett able to hold on. So it's Garrett, McDuff, and then behind them the 18. Oh, JJ Garrett going around. And caution comes out.
Ooh, Widener just came down pit road. That's ouch.
All right, let's go back and take a look at the 35. As we kind of saw him come out of the corner and just loop it around. A little too much pedal. Luckily for him, though, no contact. So 35, the only thing damaged on that car, a little bit of pride out of the driver's seat.
And Garrett was kind of in a tough spot there, Chris. He had the 20 car right out there on the outside there, so I think he was just trying to push it, just try to stay ahead of the 20 there, and gave it just a little bit too much gas and came out of that corner slipping and sliding.
Yeah, so a few drivers coming down pit road. And it looks like we may have had a couple of drivers who have decided to call it a night, and that's Charlie Widener. Rick, you mentioned he was coming down pit road, the other driver. Unfortunately, the 45 of Doug Wasaki. So Dalton Tucker, still your race leader after 23 laps. He has not come down pit road. He's the only driver, Rick, that has not come down pit road for service yet on that number 24. It is a good looking car. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that. It's a good looking car.
It's the bow tie on front. I know it is.
It's the only stain that I can see in that whole paint job, really.
Toyota Camry. The Toyota Camry right behind him there. AJ Hamill working his way up through the field, sitting in second place right now.
Yeah, good run out of AJ early on in this one.
Another driver that just has not had the luck this season, always getting wrapped up in somebody else's mess. I mean, we broadcast Racing for a Cause here on Wednesday nights, Chris, and we can see what AJ can do. This season, just not a season in the A car. But he's definitely getting it done on the super late models on Wednesday.
Yeah, having a phenomenal season over there. Chris Stump in third. Justin McDuff moved up one spot to third and then finds himself right back where he started now, Rick, in fourth. And Dale Albright, who started in third, all the way back into fifth spot now.
For all you followers out there in the Turn 3 racing land, I know a lot of you hang out here on Monday nights with Chris and I and the boys from the National Speed Association. Then you follow us over on Wednesdays for the Racing for a Cause Super Late Models. Well, just so you know, the Super Late Models are going to be off this week. That race is going to be rescheduled for December 4th. So, Chris, after tonight, we got the rest of the week off. We come here next Monday, 1 week from today, Homestead, Miami, with these boys, like Crown Championship, and then we're off again till the first week of December.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible. Waiting for that green flag to come out. Dalton Tucker makes him wait and then hops on that pedal. Green flag back out here at Myrtle Beach. And here comes Chris Stump making his way through the traffic on the inside. Stump moves back up to second spot, and Dale Albright trying to follow him through. Right now he is working the inside of the 18 of Hamill. Albright has him by a little bit and then just gets a little tight there. A little bit tight out of the 26. And, oh man, Albright seems to be having some trouble about middle of turn 3 and 4. He's pushing up, like he's not rolling up a lot. And man, oh man, it's pushing that car right up the track and almost collected the 20 of McDuff on the last lap. The 35 of Fluffy Garrett are behind Albright, but he may have touched a turtle, Rick. It shot up, and the 87 of Todd Sargent looking to try and make him pay, can't get there. Some very different lines being run right now by a lot of these drivers. A lot of it happens to be on entry and exit of the corners. On the straightaways, there's no different place you want to be. You want to be right up towards the wall, gathering as much speed for the corners as you can. But the entry and exits have been very different for a lot of these guys.
Well, again, we got a good mix of short track drivers, Chris, and a few guys who really have these A cars down a little bit. I mean, all season long, if you really look at where we've been, I mean, these guys are going a heck of a
Rick,
job.
the 96 goes around. Al Smith kicks it around sideways. No contact. But we are under caution one more time. Let's go back. The 96 being followed by the multiple lap down car, the 00 of Jared Mogard. And you watch him come out of this corner and just put a tire just a little bit under that white line, Rick, and that is all it takes, man. Around he goes, coming out of 4. And another driver that has a little bit of a damaged pride going on right there is the Al Smith Jr. machine of 96 Ford Mustang. So Dalton Tucker continues to be the only driver that hasn't come down pit road. He's led all 34 laps that we've completed, working lap number 35 here under caution at Myrtle Beach Speedway. This track just a half a mile long, and all the excitement you would expect out of all this horsepower on such a small track is really starting to come into fruition already. Just shy of a handful of caution flags here. Lap 35 of 200 laps.
And for some of these drivers, Chris, that are short track, you know, they've raced Myrtle Beach before in different cars, and you know, you might be able to hit that white line just a little bit, as long as you're not hitting the one that comes off of pit road where the turtle shells are. Usually you're okay, but these A cars have so much horsepower, they don't like it down there at all. And you know, Al Smith just showed us exactly what happens when you take a lot of horsepower on this short track. You get below that white line.
Yeah, maybe burping the throttle just a little too much with this 96 of Al Smith, and around he went, bringing out the latest caution. Still just 2 drivers that have retired from this one. Doug Wasaki, Charlie Widener. Excuse me, Charlie. Got a few drivers, though, Rick, that are laps down. I can tell you who's not right now, though. The number 9 of Jamie Christensen with this caution. He was able to get back on the lead lap. As the pace car leads these drivers around this track one more time before the lights go out. Dalton Tucker, so far, dominating once again here on a Monday night.
Looking through the stats, Chris, won 7 races so far this season.
That's pretty darn impressive.
The only ones he didn't win was Bristol, which again you said Justin McDuff won that. They're back in September 30th. I believe it was Rockingham was taken by Mogard, and then Auto Club also taken by Mogard, but Dalton Tucker has the rest of them here.
Pace car dropping off the track, and Dalton Tucker looking to try and get these guys sleeping at the wheel. He has control of the field. When's he going to hit the loud pedal? Right now, Dalton Tucker on that pedal, and Chris Stump, much better restart this time from the outside, holding on. And it leaves McDuff and AJ Hamill battling it out for 3rd spot. AJ Hamill from the inside has that slight advantage. McDuff not willing to give it up at the line. McDuff had 3rd spot on the outside. The outside line, not the quick way around this track, and McDuff very quickly figures that out as Hamill has pulled it now. Oh, McDuff fighting back on the outside, and we got one
87.
spinning, the 87.
Ooh, Albright. That happened to Albright also.
All right, so we've got a couple of them going around. Let's talk about the 87 of Todd Sargent first. We'll go back. So the 87 just behind the 26 here, coming out of turn 2. and down that backstretch, setting up for the corner. And it looks like Sargent came in a little hot. The 26 was spinning on his own. The 87 comes to a complete stop. Very little contact there for Todd Sargent. So let's go on over to Albright and take a look and see what happened with him. Heading into turns 1 and 2. Again, the 87 of Todd Sargent right behind him. And the 26 may have gotten, yeah, he did. He got a little bump there.
Got a little bump, yep.
And the 26, up into the 17. The 17 down. And everybody else able to stay away. But my goodness, Tommy Haynes.
I think Haynes got some extra one. Yeah, I think he's got some extra magnets on his car that his crew forgot to take off there.
Yeah, I think he took an extra bang there, Rick.
Boom, boom. That was a good one.
Well, there's now a new leader, and he's led 2 laps here. The number 98 of Chris Stump, as Dalton Tucker relinquishes the lead to get service done. I think it's safe to say we're not setting up for a long run at any point soon. These guys really battling strong here. 43 laps will be 44 as they cross the start-finish line. 12 drivers left on track, 14 started tonight. Well, honestly, 13 started, right? I mean, Jared Mogard came in really late.
13 and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'd look at it. I mean, Mogard, I mean, that just goes, he's still 13 laps down, Chris, but, you know, this is how dedicated Mogard is. You know, I mean, most people would come in and be like, oh, I got in 13 laps down. Screw it, I'm not racing. I'm going to go watch TV on the couch, or, you know, hop onto the Turn 3 Racing Network on YouTube and watch my boys go out there and race it out. But no, said heck with it. I'm going to get this car. I'm going to tighten my belts, and I'm just going to go out there and do what I got to do.
Well, it's still early enough. Anything can happen. You're only 13 points behind the leader of the chase. You got to get out there and see what will happen. Nothing saying right now something doesn't happen to Tucker. It's just we haven't seen that happen this season.
It's kind of in a weird position, Chris. I mean, we're used to seeing him being up there in front, but right now it's going to be all eyes are on Chris Stump, and that's all eyes in the stands, us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, and all his drivers around him waiting for him to go.
And go he is, as Chris Stump hits that loud pedal, and he is gone. McDuff trying to hold on for second spot. He does. AJ Hamill falls to third. And Chris Stump carrying a huge amount of speed. Stump has seen what Dalton Tucker's been able to do. Wants to show that he can do it too. The 98 leads that one under green.
You know, we're in for some good show here with Chris Stump, Chris. I mean, all race long he's been trying to get up to that clean air, get to the number 1 position. And he just hasn't been able to do it. He's got some pressure from behind, had to do what he had to do to kind of hang on. But now we're seeing him out there in front. We knew that he was the fastest on practice after doing 49 laps out there. Now it's going to be real interesting to see. So far tonight, the fastest lap during the race was on lap number 12 by the number 24, Dalton Tucker, with a 17.309.
Right now, watching the battle starting to form up for third spot. It's the 35 of J.J. Garrett. Right on the back bumper of the 18. Dalton Tucker may be trying to battle his way into this one, as he took a peek to the inside coming out of 4. Wasn't able to get there. Oh, A.J. Hamill with a big skid. Oh, and goes around. Almost gets into him. A.J. Hamill holds on somehow.
Holy cow. Good job by all those drivers there, Chris. 18 got into the 24 a little bit. 24 was able to hang on. These guys keep it under green right now.
Oh, Hamill almost causing the 24 to go bye-bye. Instead, Dalton Tucker able to hold on. Actually goes around Hamill and saves his position and maybe his championship there, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, that could have just been a bad thing there. But right now, the 18 super copy machine. You know, if I was in his ear right now as maybe a live spotter, son, I'd be like, okay, you made a mistake, let it go. calm down, do what you got to do, get back out on front. I think that's exactly what we're going to see out of Hamill. You know, he might have got a little frustrated there. I mean, stuff happens, but I think he's just gonna take a deep breath, get back up there, work on that, taking over the top 5 again, or breaking into the top 5. Right now, he's got Tucker ahead of him, but I think he's gonna be okay.
And the driver of the number 96 right behind AJ Hamill. That's Al Smith Jr. He's being scored 1 lap down in 9th spot. So Chris Stump, your race leader. Stump's now led 14 laps. We've been going under green now for just a little bit of time, and these guys starting to spread out just a little bit, and this is not something that we've actually seen here tonight. So a little breath of fresh air here at Myrtle Beach is these guys are starting to separate just a little bit.
I mean, there's 2 guys right now that they're running 1 and 2 right now that haven't separated much at all, because McDuff is hanging on tight to the number 98 right now, but the 98 doing something that I'm finding kind of interesting, Chris. Really not running the same line lap. And I think what he's trying to do is fake out the 20 a little bit. Now McDuff really, really good on short track, Chris, as he proved his point at Bristol. That was a crazy race.
Oh, yeah, it was.
He hung on to bring that number 20 Arch Barbershop Toyota to the checkers, and it looks like he's tried to do it again here tonight at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, if you can get to second and you can just hang, sometimes you'll force a mistake out of the race leader, but the 98 not looking for any mistakes here tonight. Short track specialty out of Chris Stump. So it is Stump and McDuff, 1 and 2. Right behind McDuff, it's the 35 of Garrett. And Fluffy doing a good job, top 3 right now. Todd Sargent in the 87, running in 4th position. He's got Jared Mogard right to the inside. Mogard trying to get back an obscene amount of laps. We're at 13 of them.
Hey, just coming out here proving a point, saying, hey, man, you guys are lucky that something happened there and I wasn't able, maybe he's over down there at the chicken pit, grabbing a chicken sandwich or something, because can't get him at Popeyes no more. So he's a little late getting into his car. He's out there trying to battle it back out right now. Being scored in 11th position, 13 laps down still. But he's fast. I mean, you're sitting there, you're watching him. He's hanging on to Todd Sargent right to the back bumper. He's got Dalton Tucker right behind him. That's something that we're used to seeing all season long. The 00 and the 24 battling it out there. Sargent doing the same thing. So, I mean, Mogard got a lot of work to do, but he's just out there showing that number, 00, is very fast.
Very unfortunate for him to miss the start of this race. You're right. He's extremely quick. He's just trying to figure out a way around the 87 right now. Todd Sargent got this line on lockdown. Nobody's going to take it away from him.
Well, I mean, we talked about that throughout the broadcast, Chris. That bottom line is where you want to go. And right now, the master of that's number 87, Todd Sargent. I mean, he's been running very consistent down there, hitting his marks, doing what he has to do. He's running almost a perfect line here at the beach.
Back up front to take a look at the battle going on for the race lead. It's Chris Stump in the 98, your race leader. Justin McDuff in second spot in number 20.
Puppy Garrett cutting the grass.
JJ Garrett decides the deck wasn't low enough before the race started, so he had to go out with that splitter and just lower it another inch or two. So Garrett falls back to 7th spot. That pumps Todd Sargent up to 3rd. Dalton Tucker kind of stalled behind Mogard, not able to do anything there. Lori checking in, cheering for Todd.
He's driving his heart out right now. Sargent doing a very good job, and that's kind of what's keeping Mogard and Dalton Tucker back there. I mean, I think Sargent's looking, going, okay. Ooh, we see the 24 and the 00. We're racing it out right now. Banging doors a little bit. Tucker able to get around Mogard. Now he's got a little gap to work up, try to get back up to Sargent. And let me tell you, Sargent, like I said, man, he is just hitting the perfect line around this track here tonight.
Yeah, very, very consistent right now is Sargent. Some consistency happening out front too, Rick. Chris Stump and Just McDuff still within a second of each other. Only 0.3 of a second separating these two drivers for first and second.
And they're going to have to contend with Albright right now in that 26 car, sitting in 8th position right now. He's in the danger zone of being lapped, put down one lap as Stump and McDuff work their way down through turns 3 and 4.
So a little bit of a shaky start here from the beach, but they have straightened their act out, and we've been under the green flag for quite a while now. Race leader Chris Stump, Just McDuff in second spot. Todd Sargent rounding out the top 3 in his number 87. Dalton Tucker in the 24, who came down pit road last time for service 32 laps ago. And he just hasn't been able to find his way back to the front.
I mean, we still got 127 laps left to go. He might be able to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying he won't. I'm just saying right now. Speaking of right now, AJ Hamill right now rounding out the top 5 in his number 18 after a bit of a driving miscue. He was able to gather it back up, regather the composure, and back out on track he is in 5th spot. Jamie Christensen in the 9, running in 6th position, and J.J. Garrett, the fluffy one himself, running in 7th spot. He's the last driver, Rick, on the lead lap. So top 7 drivers still getting it done out there. Dale Albright just went down a lap, and he is in 8th spot. Al Smith Jr. 1 lap down in 9th. Tommy Haynes in the 17, man. If there's a ping pong ball award, he's getting it tonight because he has been getting it from all sides. He's running in 10th spot. Jared Mogart has worked his way back up to 11th. 13 laps down. Doug Hess out there in his number 25. Unfortunately, 14 laps down for the 25 machine. So Todd Sargent comes into tonight, Rick, in 4th spot in the point standings. Doug Hess ahead of him by just 2 points. And there's a huge gap between them on track at this point. So Todd Sargent looking to try and advance into the top 3. If the race were to finish right now, he would have done so. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming on out on a Monday night. You're watching the National Speed Association, brought to you by V-Speed, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I am your host, Chris, and with me, as always, my good friend, Rick. And Rick, it's been an exciting race so far. It started off a little bit of a caution fest, but these guys have straightened it out as of late.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, Chris, we had this thing marked on the calendar as soon as the schedule came out. And like, man, this is going to be interesting. And, you know, little rocky start, like you said, but these guys got it figured out now. Now a nice long green flag run. Cars are getting spread out just a little bit.
Now it really is just a matter of logging laps and trying not to get any damage to your car that might affect it adversely later on in the competition. Dale Albright coming down pit road. And Chris Stump continues to lead this one. Just McDuff in 2nd spot. Stump has opened up a little bit of a lead, Rick, 1.2 seconds. Todd Sargent sitting in 3rd spot, but the 24 of Dalton Tucker on that back bumper now, trying to figure out a way to get around him. And That has been proving to be a very difficult task indeed, trying to get around the 87 here tonight. Sargent really showing these guys around this track from third on back.
Man, once Chris Stump got out front, Chris, in a nice clean air, you know, put some laps down. He's just starting. I mean, he's pulled away quite a bit, almost a second and a half, 1.383 seconds right now ahead of the 20 of McDuff. Could tonight be the night of Chris Stump? In about 111 laps, we are going to figure that out.
It'd be a long time coming for Stump. We talked about him at the top of the show. Just has not had the season he's been looking for here at the NSA. But, you know, one win here tonight, it's going to help him in the standings. It's probably not going to get him where he needs to be. But, Rick, it would be good for the soul, if you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely.
Just McDuff sitting in second spot, just kind of watching the 98 machine get smaller and smaller. Dalton Tucker was able to get around Todd Sargent. So the 24 breaks back into the top three, some 50 laps after that last caution. We're going to see right now if Todd Sargent has anything left. No, he does not. Those tires starting to go away on Sargent. He went way up towards the wall coming out of turn 2 now. Out of 4. Todd Sargent's tires may be starting to yell at him a little bit. All that inside lane driving, Rick. It's great on track, and it's a great line, but it does punish the right side tires, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit here out of the 87.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. I mean, you know, he is racing up a little higher than what we've been seeing him, so those tires definitely starting to wait, you know, go away. But I think what he's trying to wait for is either a caution or when Tucker comes down.
Some very different pit road strategies being deployed here. AJ Hamill been out there the longest on his set of tires, 88 laps. After that, it's positions 1 and 2. Chris Stump, Justin McDuff with 73 laps on their tires. Dalton Tucker and Todd Sargent equaled up at 55. There's a whole host of others out there with different lap strategies as far as tires go. But we're trying to see how that's going to work itself out. 103 laps to go. Take a peek in on AJ Hamill. He's running in the top 5, 5th spot right now is Hamill. He's got Doug Hess just ahead of him in the 25. Doug Hess, unfortunately, not having a great night, being scored 14 laps down in 12th spot. Again, only 2 drivers have retired from the race here tonight. Douglas Saki, Charlie Widener. God darn it, I did it again. So right now, Hamill holding on to that 5th spot. Jamie Christensen in the 9 car. He's holding on to 6th. At one point, he was a lap down. Got that lap back. And right now, holding on to that 6th spot with J.J. Garrett right behind him. Garrett in 7th position. And Al Smith Jr. 1 lap down in 8th, looking to try and get away around him. Oh, Garrett into the wall. Gets a little bit of damage to that right front. And Garrett's tires also starting to go away, perhaps. He's got 68 laps on him.
I think most of these drivers, except for maybe Albright,
Garrett into the wall again.
yeah, I mean, they're feeling the abuse of those tires have taken, Chris, and it's starting to show even a little bit more. I mean, these guys, something that they have to really worry about and kind of adjust to. I mean, you can't go. I mean, we've seen Sargent, he was working that beautiful inside lane, hitting those marks lap after lap. Now he's running a little bit harder. Those tires are gone. Chris Stump, he's starting to change his lane up just a little bit. Of course, he's got one heck of a lead, almost 2 seconds here over McDuff.
Jamie Christensen sends that thing into 1 and 2, and the rear end starts kicking out from underneath it. The pressure of the 35 maybe taking its toll on the 9 machine. And Garrett comes up side by side in the middle of 3 and 4. Can't hold on to it. Oh, they touch. Al Smith puts himself into the wall to stay off from the other drivers, but we are under caution. After the 35 and the 9 make contact, we're going to go back and take a peek.
Ooh, Garrett's tires are definitely gone.
So the 35 and 9 were battling for a few laps here. 35 had the inside line. Coming out of turn 4. And Garrett just kind of moves up the track. And he definitely gets the worst of this one, but not extremely heavy damage there. And as he's trying to right the ship, probably makes more damage on the inside retaining wall than he did in the actual incident. And you see the pace car coming out. Lots of pit stops are happening one more time, Rick. Top 5 drivers on pit road. And it was high time for those guys to come down. The tires were just about done. Chris Stump, an extremely fast stop at 14 seconds flat. Brings his car back out in first spot. Then it's McDuff, Sargent, Christensen, Hamill, Al Smith Jr. on pit road right now. Dolan Tucker with an... I'm not sure what happened to Tucker. He's being scored a lap down, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, this pit stop doesn't look all that bad. 14.5 seconds there.
Time on pit road, okay. Pit stop, 14.4. That's okay, too. And somehow, Dalton Tucker being scored 7th position, 1 lap down. Oh, Lord.
It looks like JJ Fluffy Garrett packing up that number 35, getting out of Myrtle Beach, getting it back to the shop, get it repaired, and ready for next week in Homestead, Miami.
Well, I think he had enough hits on the Pride there, Rick. You know, he was mowing the lawn earlier and then just caused another one and trying to come out of that and hits the wall again. So I think the Pride was hurt enough. JJ Garrett calling it a night. That makes just the 3rd driver to retire from Myrtle Beach here tonight. JJ Garrett, Doug Wasaki, Charlie Widener. Josh Mayhew out there. So K2B Motorsports for the win. Glad to see you out on track, bud.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate you hanging out here and chat with us. Man, where are you this week? Christmas is Miller Lite.
Absolutely. Pace car drops off. Cars folded in 2 by 2, getting ready to go back to the green flag. Chris Stump, your race leader. Justin McDuff to his outside. And 3rd place belongs to Todd Sargent in the 87 as we go back under the green flag. Chris Stump, a great restart there, holding on to his race lead. McDuff doing a fine job holding on a second. And here comes Todd Sargent. Sargent likes those quick runs, Rick. He's very, very fast on the short runs. We'll see if he's able to do anything with the 20 machine of McDuff. Running very high right there with Sargent, almost into the wall.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, a Sergeant running a little high, Chris. I think what he's trying to do is just make sure that set of tires warms up just a little bit before he gets back into his groove. And of course, the caution, that's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. You know, when you're racing, you know, no matter if you're doing it with VR, you're doing it with, you know, one monitor, three monitors, you start to get into a rhythm and you kind of get tunnel vision. And as long as it's working out for you, you're hitting your marks, you're doing fine. But you get something like a caution or, you know, anything like that, it kind of breaks that concentration, Chris, and it's a little bit hard to get right back into it.
Yeah, it really is. Sargent just needs to settle down, take a big breath, realize he's running in third spot here tonight. And that's a pretty good finish, especially if you start looking at the point standings coming into tonight and how everybody else is situated on track. This could be a make or break night here for the 87 machine. With Mogard kind of out of the picture, we've scored 12 laps down after not hitting the start of this race. Dalton Tucker being scored 1 lap down. Tonight could be really, really big for Sargent.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the top 10 there, Chris, I mean, it's going to be big for a couple people. Chris Stump, you know, Chris Stump right now, he's in 10th position. He's only 57 points behind now. That is a lot to make up to do anything for the championship race, with that being next week. But Chris Stump leading the race right now. Josh Mayhew, well, we know that he's chatting with us in chat. So the 9th place position on out there. Justin McDuff, he's doing a heck of a job. Been sitting up there in the 2nd position for a while, Chris. He's coming in 8th in points tonight. You got Doug Wysocki not having the night that he anticipated. He's out there going to be position 13 there at the end of this thing. Jamie Christensen having a little bit of a trouble out there, but he's riding around in the top 5. So he's sitting 6th in points right now. Widener, we know what's going on with him. He's sitting there in 14th position off track right now, packing it up. Sargent doing a good job there, sitting in 3rd. So Sargent sitting 4th in points right now. Doug Hess. Doug not having the night here, got wrapped up in the caution, as we're under caution again, Chris. Hess in 11th, so that's huge. Mogard, huge, being so many laps down, but he's scored in 10th place right now. And then obviously we know about Dalton Tucker.
And this caution, Rick, going to be the 17. She banged, and she ended up in the outside wall. Inside and out. The 17 goes around. So back under caution.
Good old William Hung. Thanks, Chris. That's exactly what I needed pounded into my head at 9:53 p.m. on a Monday night.
Well, you're going to have something to talk about for the rest of the week at the shop. She bang, she bang. Well, some more pit road strategy starting to come forth. Todd Sargent stays out. He's leading a lap. Dalton Tucker being scored in 2nd spot, as he was able to get his lap back. Chris Stump, Dustin McDuff, AJ Hamill, and Jamie Christensen all coming down pit road. So those 4 drivers have fresh tires, Rick. The 2 in front of them, not so much. And those fresh tires may be the difference maker here, because not only did they get tires, Rick, they also filled up that gas tank. And here comes Dalton Tucker coming down pit road. I think he just did the math, realized I'm not going to make it. So Tucker coming down pit road. Todd Sargent staying out. Sargent just the 3rd person to lead laps here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Stump with 81, Tucker with 40, and now Sargent with 3. Chris Stump going to be restarting on the outside. Dale Albright decides he's going to come down pit road. We'll go with the teammates. I like that. 74 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. They take the green flag. The 87 of Todd Sargent hits the go pedal, and we are off and running once again. The 20 of McDuff trying desperately to hold on to second spot. Away from Chris Stump and does on the inside. Stump falls to third. So the man who has led the most laps finds himself back in third spot here right now with the number 98 of Chris Stump, the 20 of McDuff, the 87 of Todd Sargent just ahead of him.
It's good to see the 87 up front, Chris. He's been racing hard. Chris Stump.
Oh, Stump.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that one's going to be bad. And unfortunately, it looks like his luck is continuing. We're going to have to go back and take a look at that one. Coming out of turn 4 once again. That turn has been a killer all night long. But Stump sends it into turn 3. And when he comes out, he hits that throttle just a little bit too much. Luckily for him, able to stay off the wall, so it could have been much, much worse. But Stump with the very first mistake of the race here, and that may cost him dearly as we head on into this one.
Well, the interesting thing, Chris, they only had 7 laps on that set of tires, so, the thing that you taught me, you got to let those things warm up quite a bit. Now, when you're under caution, you're really not warming them up. I mean, they do get a little bit of temp in them, but not much, man. You really want to get out there and race it around. So, I mean, that helps too, or hurts too, I should say. And again, I mean, these guys, they got to remember, they got a lot of horsepower in these cars. You got to be very careful when you're rolling into the throttle, or else they're just
the 18 getting loose. AJ Hamill up into the wall. He's not done yet. AJ Hamill spins it around. Still under the green. There's that caution flag. It did not come out for Chris Stump, but boy, it came out for the 18 as he was sideways to the track. And that is a huge break for Chris Stump, who was able to stay on the lead lap after coming out of 4 and almost getting into the wall. And the 18 bringing it down pit road along with everybody else except for the 20 of Justin McDuff. He stays out to lead some more. McDuff has led 3 laps, make it 4 as he crosses the start-finish line here under caution. I want to thank everybody once again for coming on by to the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the National Speed Association presented by V-Speed. And it's Monday night. Welcome to the start of our work week. Yeah, I just watched the 00 come down pit road, Rick, and I'm looking at the scoreboard, and it's really unfortunate because the amount of cautions here tonight have both helped and hurt him. He's been unable to get many laps back, only 1 so far as Mogard. But man, what a shame to miss the first 13 laps of this race, knowing that you're coming in just 13 points behind the points leader coming in. And man, what a just absolute shame for Jared Mogard. We've got 5 drivers now who have decided to call it a night. Tommy Haynes, the latest, and that number 17, Al Smith Jr., JJ Garrett, Doug Wasaki, and Charlie Widener. So the Arts Barber Shop, number 20 of Justin McDuff, out front. What can he do with that clean air? Pace car shuts the lights down. We're getting ready to go back to the green flag. Cars are folding in 2 by 2. And the pace car getting set to come down pit road. On that kind of odd backstretch pit entry that he takes.
I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see, Chris, as you just said there. What can the 20 do with that fresh, clean air out there? I mean, he's got Todd Sargent right down there on the outside. The 87 very fast.
Sargent
in fourth. Tucker right there.
Yeah, Sargent had a really, really good restart there. I know he didn't stay side by side, but he did exactly what he needed to do to hold on to second spot. And here comes Dalton Tucker. He's in third spot, 98. Chris Stump right behind him with AJ Hamill. Jamie Christensen in that mix. Doug Hess coming off from pit road. Dalton Tucker looking to try and take over second spot from Sargent. He does. Dalton Tucker. It's been a long, long time since he's been up front, but now running in second spot, and he's bringing Chris Stump along for the ride. The 20 of McDuff running for everything he's got right now. The Arts Barbershop number 20, Toyota Camry, looking good out front. Trying to extend that lead any way he can. The 24 saying, no, I don't think so. I'm going to catch you. And catching here is one thing at the beach, Rick. Passing, that proves to be something completely different.
You're absolutely right. And talking about something to prove, Chris, the young man in the lead right now, that 20 machine, he dominated here at Bristol. He had a really good, well, actually didn't dominate, but he did a really good job at Bristol. So he wants to try to say, hey, listen, I'm the king of the short tracks. You guys can have that big stuff, but when you get me on something about a half a mile, I'm going to have to go out there and have fun and show you how it's done.
Dalton Tucker right on the back bumper now of the 20 of McDuff. And now takes a look on the inside heading into turn one. Dalton Tucker looking to try and take the lead away. Can the 20 prevent it? From the outside, no way.
No.
But McDuff does a great job getting back down in line to fend off Chris Stump. Stump loses a little bit of ground as the back end of that car threatens to come around again. And now Dalton Tucker. It's been a long, long time since he's been up front, Rick, but we find him there again. And he just led lap number 42 of this race that he's been able to lead. Just 4 drivers here have led laps, Rick. Chris Stump still a king amongst them with 81 laps led. But Tucker enjoying that clean air in front of him right now finds himself only having to race the track. What a great feeling that must be after being trapped back in the field for so long.
Well, that is a good feeling because now he can just concentrate on what's going on ahead of him, Chris, and not have to really worry about too much what's going behind. I mean, every now and then glance up in the rearview mirror, see what the 20's doing, where he's at. But it's kind of relaxing out there, and I think that's why a lot of drivers, we see them pulling away. I mean, that's why. They can just concentrate on what's going on. They don't have to really worry about too much till they get around to lap traffic. And then you can worry, the guys in second are getting battled by the guys in third and fourth and so on. And we know on that 24, usually the Napa Know-How number 24, but tonight the Exalted 24. He gets out there towards the front, man. He's hard to beat.
I think if we just look at the season as a whole and see how many wins he's racked up, he's tough to beat. There's no question about that. Dalton Tucker, this should be his championship to lose.
Picked up, having a little bit of issue there. Chris Stump able to get around him, Chris.
Yeah, Stump working his way up to second. So the guy that's led the most laps, chasing down the current leader of this race, 0.7 of a second is the gap right now. Chris Stump on fire, on a mission. The gap, 0.4 of a second at the line. Chris knows he has a good car. He knows he's been able to lead a lot of laps. He'd like to finish this one off up front if at all possible. He and Dalton Tucker running very, very different lines, but both very effective. See Stump woes that car up just a little bit more to stay down to the inside. Able to come off from the corner just a little bit harder. And if Tucker was relaxed before, Rick, he isn't right now. Now he's got a windshield full of Chris Stump, or excuse me, a rear view mirror full of Chris Stump. As that gap is gone. .98. Ooh, a little wiggle out of the 24. Out of the front end. Looks like the front end lost grip. Dalton Tucker loses a little bit more ground on track. The gap, 0.086. Ooh, Stump hits a turtle. Don't do that. You'll rip the front end of that car right out from underneath it. It allowed for Justin McDuff to kind of catch the back bumper of the 98. These three going at it once again. That was the 58th lap. Dalton Tucker has led here tonight. The guy that's led the most is working the inside right now. Chris Stump thought he had him there, couldn't make the pass, so he backs out. Maybe setting him up again out of turn 4. Can't quite make that pass happen. I think he may want to be doing it a little sooner rather than later because the tires will go away, and as he tried to pull that car to the left, it almost went out from underneath him. So the 98, good driving, trying to hold on to it. Knows what he has to do, just needs the car to cooperate. I think Stump may be a little bit quicker, but trying to find a room to pass here is very, very hard. So Stump to the back bumper once again of Dalton Tucker. And this battle for the lead not over yet. Very different line out of Stump coming out of 4 there. He came out on the high side. Maybe trying just to find a little grip somewhere. That inside lane coming out of 4, treacherous. Every time we see him do it, it's wiggling a little bit. And the 98 counter steering. So he is pushing that car as hard as he possibly can. Dalton Tucker just sitting there defending.
The thing is, Chris, I think Dalton Tucker has something on these guys. I mean, he ran that first stint for quite a while before he came out for tires, so he knows what his car feels like. Now, granted, the sun's not out on the track so much, you know, but it's hovering right around 69 degrees. But, you know, I don't see it changing enough to where he's got to worry about that. I mean, he knows what that car can do in the long run.
What long run we had in about the middle of the race there. I think everybody kind of learned. Oh, big move out of the 98. Will it be enough? Oh, he sticks it in 3. The 24 may have to stay out a little bit wider than he wants to. Able to hold on still. Stump putting the pressure on through turns 1 and 2 now. Chris Stump looking to try and take away the lead. Stump has to be very careful coming out of 4. He wants to be able to push it, but just has to be careful. He knows that car will come around. Dalton Tucker able to defend, but Stump right on the back bumper still. He had a good look at it. He had a shot. He may be thinking a little later on, I'm going to hit this one. And, man, the laps, they are winding down. To the inside, the 98 goes again. The 24 able to carry a little bit of extra momentum. And through 3 and 4, Dalton Tucker has the race lead. Coming out of 4, the 98 dives down into 1. Stump doing a good job holding his line. Could have just as easily let that thing push up to force the issue. Good driving out of the 98 machine. And Dalton Tucker is on the gas pedal as hard as he can on those straightaways through the corner. The 98 has him beat on the inside. Tucker knows the only place he can battle back is on the straightaways. And this time by
Chris Stump.
Stump took it.
And Dalton Tucker, then Chris Stump, then Dalton Tucker, then Chris Stump again.
Stump makes his way back around the 24. Dalton Tucker finds himself in second spot. Good battle for the race lead.
And, you know, I don't fault what McDuff just did, Chris. He kind of hung back a little bit and said, okay, you boys, you guys go do what you got to do. I'm going to wait till somebody sees somebody makes a mistake and then just pass both of you.
Well, to McDuff's credit, that's exactly what he did. Now, he does have 12 lap older tires than these guys do. These guys came down pit road the last time they could, and McDuff chose to stay out and keep the lead. He was able to hold on to it for about 13 laps after we went back to the green flag, then lost it. He's led 15. Chris Stump just led his 84th lap of it this race, and we've got 20 laps to go.
Dalton Tucker slid out just a little bit there, able to hang on to it.
'26 of Dale Albright staying out of the way of the race leaders. The 26 all kinds of beat up here tonight.
Yeah, with 19 laps left to go, Chris, I'm going to run down through the field so far. So we know that the 98 of Chris Stump taking the lead here from Dalton Tucker. Dalton Tucker sitting in second position. The 20 machine is sitting in third. Fourth place belongs to the 18 machine of AJ Hamill. Todd Sargent, the 87, sitting in fifth right now. Jamie Christen battled it back from that early caution there. Get his lap back, sitting in sixth place right now in that number 9 machine. Albright, we saw him just a few minutes ago. He is 5 laps down, like you said, missing some parts on that car, but doing a fabulous job out there tonight from the beach. He's in seventh. Jared Mogard still 12 laps behind. He's only able to get 1 lap back so far, and with 17 laps left to go, Chris, I'm not sure it's going to be his night here, but he came out here and not a bad finish, all things considered. 8th place right now is the 00. Doug Hess sitting there on pit road right now, that 25. He's been there for a while. He's going to be scored in 9th. He's 41 laps down. Now we got Tommy Haynes in 10th, Al Smith Jr. in 11th, JJ Fluffy Garrett in 12th, Doug Wysocki in 13th, and rounding out the field tonight in the 14th position, that's the 95 of Charlie White.
Yeah, that's 10th through 14th, all packed up, ready to go on to next week for the final race of the season. We've got 14 laps to go. Chris Stump opening up a heck of a lead over Dalton Tucker. I thought he was faster. I didn't think he was this much faster. He's opened up a 1-second lead over Dalton Tucker since he retook the lead.
Well, that clean air's been good for Stump there, but right now he's dealing with the 9 and Jamie Christensen going down maybe another lap here, possible, or going down a lap possibly. For Stump, we'll see what happens. Now, Stump doesn't want to wait too long to try to make a move around that number 9 because that's going to allow Dalton Tucker just to get right back up to him. But then Tucker and McDuff got to deal with the 9 car, so could be interesting to see how this plays out. We got 12 laps left to go.
Yeah, the 9 of Jamie Christensen really is affecting the 98 of Chris Stump because the gap is starting to close down just a little bit. So the sooner Stump can try and find a way around the 9, I think the better off he'll be.
It'll take a lot of pressure off of him. Because right now, even with that lead, Chris, you know what Chris Stump's doing. He's looking through his windshield and he's got both eyes up there, seeing what either that or one eye up on the black box and one up on the mirror to see where Tucker is.
Yeah, he's got one eye on the rear view. He's got one eye on the side mirror. He's got one eye out the front windshield. I don't know how he's doing that. That's how you're a really good race car driver.
We've seen Chris Stump do some amazing things out there tonight. He's doing an amazing thing, Chris. So far, he has led 95 laps here tonight. Tucker with 72, McDuff with 15, and Todd Sargent with 9 tonight here so far.
Yeah, 5 lead changes amongst 4 drivers. As this is the second time this race, Stump has controlled the field. And he's done so for the last 16 laps. 7 laps to go here from the beach. Chris Stump trying to take away a victory here this season. It'd be just the 4th race, is that correct, that Dalton Tucker has lost this season?
Yeah.
The gap back to Tucker starting to close a little bit here. Just 0.8 of a second now with 5 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line.
I mean, we started this series this season on September 9th at Kentucky. Dalton Tucker won. Then we head over to Iowa on the 16th. Dalton Tucker won. Richmond, Dalton Tucker. Bristol, Justin McDuff said, okay, enough Dalton Tucker. I'm going to win one. He took Bristol. Rockingham, Jared Mogard. Auto Club, Mogard. And then Dalton Tucker said, okay, I'm glad you guys had some fun as they head over to Darlington. And he took Darlington, Dover, ISM, Phoenix, and Michigan.
An incredible season for the 24, currently running in 2nd spot. 2 laps to go, 1 mile left. At this point, Stump can really start to taste it. He knows if he just keeps it clean, he's going to have this one.
That's the hard thing, though. You know, the palms are sweaty, Chris. Your forehead's sweaty. I'm sure he's probably sitting there in VR. Pumping like crazy.
Less than a half a mile now, Rick, and the white flag in the air. Flagman getting ready to swap over. One more flag to show off here tonight.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
And Chris Stump crosses the line as your race winner. Flagman being a little stingy with that checkered flag. Didn't see it in the air. Nonetheless.
Probably dropped it.
Yeah, he might have dropped it. Chris Stump, Dalton Tucker, Justin McDuff, your top 3 here tonight. Great race. The 18 of A.J. Hamill, the 87 of Todd Sargent, rounding out the top 5. I'm going to hold on to see if Stump's going to maybe burn the house down. Certainly it's deserved if he does.
I think what he's burning down right now is a jar of midnight moon.
Yeah, maybe.
Got the old moonshine. He's like, hell yeah.
Well, guys, that was the end of the race. We're going to step away for just one moment. We're going to get these guys ready to go to the post-race interviews. We'll be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall. front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press.
saved it.
What a save.
Looks to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is howling down to the inside.
I trying this contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Back live from Myrtle Beach as we witnessed 200 laps of action courtesy of the National Speed Association right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We're going to go ahead and talk to the top 3 drivers after tonight's race. First up, the driver of the number 20, that's Justin McDuff. Justin, Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you guys doing?
Doing well, bud. Listen, you brought a home 3rd spot tonight. Short tracks, man. I'm telling you, you seem to find a way into the top 3. First at Bristol, now here at this little half-mile Myrtle Beach. It's a good run out of the Arts Barbershop Toyota Camry. And what does that mean for the whole season? Let's start thinking capping off the season here. We've got 1 race to go. Where do you see yourself?
Unfortunately, I crashed out last week. I tried to race through a migraine, didn't go too well. But this will definitely help the point situation tonight, finishing 3rd. And then we go to Homestead. I had never run the A car at Homestead, so that'll be a learning curve, as it will be for everybody because it's the new NASCAR package that they brought to iRacing here. So my goal was the top 5, and I think after tonight I should be close. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Feeling confident with the momentum from tonight. That's a huge thing. Justin, anybody on the 20 that you need to thank tonight, bud?
Yeah, well, first I got to say congrats to Chris Stump, my teammate, the Empire Racing team, and AJ Hamill's my other teammate. Good run to Dalton. They put on a good show there. I really had nothing for them after I got caught out there on the older tires, and I was hoping they'd start racing, maybe have a little bit of a jingle, and I could take advantage like I did at Bristol, but it wasn't meant to be tonight. So I got to thank Arts Barbershop and, of course, the Cerebral Palsy Foundation. I run them in all my cars, and everyone who's watching out there, and thanks to you guys.
All right, bud. Little congratulations once again. Bringing home 3rd spot here tonight in that number 20.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And that was your 3rd place finisher, Justin McDuff, finishing in 2nd place tonight. Not really used to saying that, but it is true. The 24 not winning here tonight. Dalton, Tucker, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
But it was a good race for you. I mean, you led 72 laps, which was pretty good. But at the end, it looks like Stump just may have had your number here a little bit.
Yeah, he was definitely fast, especially on the long run. I was really fast at the beginning. I went down pit and I came out and I got kind of stuck in the pack. I think it was AJ. He got loose in front of me and hit my right front and had a little bit of trouble repairing that. I think I had like right at a minute or so of damage. And I fixed that by the end. So I thought I was sitting pretty, and it just got real tight on me on that long run, which I don't know if it was the damage or just me not being very good on a long run. But Chris was by far the car of the field tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see. I can actually see some of that right front damage that you were talking about right now on your car. You can see that fender folded in just a little bit there, but I could see that you were running a little tight out there. But all in all, a little bit of tight here was a very different experience. It looked like, at least from our perspective up here, because it looked like those cars were free, especially coming out.
Yeah. Going in and center was pretty tight, but if you didn't roll the throttle like you're supposed to, it can snap around on you in a heartbeat, and there ain't no saving this, especially on this small track.
Yeah, we definitely saw that a few times here tonight. Anybody on the 24, Dalton, that you need to thank tonight, bud?
Well, since I didn't win this one, I'll change it up a little bit. So thanks to my family for watching y'all's broadcast, and just appreciate you guys doing this so people like them can watch it and stuff like that.
We appreciate doing it, bud. Congratulations on the second place finish. On to one more race next week. And I got to say, you're still, even though only a second place finish tonight, I say only, you're still going to be looking pretty darn good next week. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's a sigh of relief because I don't like Homestead too much. It's another one of those kind of pack racing, tight track, single line, hard to pass. So if I can just kind of ride around and be safe and clinch this thing, I'll be really happy.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to next week as we try and watch that one unfold. Dalton, congratulations once again on second place here tonight.
Thanks, man.
And last but certainly not least tonight, he led 104 laps here tonight. Had a little bit of a spin issue coming out of 4 and able to kind of straighten that Camry back up. And, man, eventually took the lead back over, and that was all she wrote. Chris Stump in the 98. This is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Rick. Or excuse me, Chris.
Well, okay. I mean, go ahead, Rick. I mean, go ahead. Obviously, he wants you.
Moon tasting. How's the midnight moon tasting, bro?
She's about ready to flow.
There you go. Hey, man, congratulations. I mean, Chris, you haven't had the season that has been good for you. And tonight here, you came out here and you dominated 104 laps, man. I mean, that is just awesome. This is what Chris and I, I mean, you've heard us, I'm sure, mention it if you rewatch the broadcast. We're used to seeing you dominate. Now, usually, I mean, you're a very good short track guy. We haven't seen you too much in the bigger cars and stuff like that, but tonight was your night, man. So congratulations on that. Run me through your race a little bit there. Were you a little nervous? I mean, you were fastest in practice, and a couple times you had some scary moments out there.
Yeah, it's I couldn't fire off very good on stickers. Well, I could cut a qualifying lap, but the first 5 to 10 laps, then I just had no pace. And once we got some green flag laps going, I kind of found a groove there on the bottom that I couldn't run on stickers, to where when we had the new tires on, the pressure's being low, it seemed to bottom the splitter out. But once the pace slowed down, I could start working the bottom, where most of the other guys were on the top side. And I just think that was probably the big difference. I was quite a bit better on the bottom, getting in through 1 and 2 than Dalton, but he was better than me through 3 and 4.
Well, you guys put on one heck of a race, man. So congratulations. They're taking the checkers here tonight. Unfortunately, we only got one more race next week. I mean, I'm sure you're going to move up a little bit there. There were some guys out there that had some issues here tonight. You looking forward to Homestead?
Yeah, honestly, probably only ran maybe 3 or 4 races there ever, but especially these cars being so much downforce and stuff, it probably won't be the anything relatable than whatever on the past. But if it puts on the half the show that the real life stuff does, it should be a good show for everyone.
Excellent, man. Well, hey, Chris and I are looking forward to it. So congratulations again, Mr. Stump out there. It was a fantastic race. Anybody you would like to thank on that number 98 there tonight?
Yeah, I thank V-Speed for their serious sponsorship. I thank Turn 3. You guys up in the booth do a phenomenal job. I want to thank my Empire Racing teammates, Justin and AJ. Justin let me go there and kind of let me go on the attack for a while. So I appreciate him letting me at least have a fighting shot there at the end. And want to thank AJ and Jamie. I'm a unofficial, league admin, but they're the ones putting in all the work and the time and all of the posts and just putting up sessions. So really owe it all to them.
All right, man. Well, hey, listen, congratulations. Go and celebrate with the crew and get that midnight moon flowing, brother.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And that was the number 98 of Chris Stump taking home the checkers here tonight from Myrtle Beach Speedway, Rick. A great way to start your work week, man. Getting the action going early on in the week right here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Rick, I want to say thank you for coming on out and calling this one with me. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to finish this season off next week, and it's going to be a doozy.
It is. I mean, you and I, we got a little bit of a break. We're off here on Wednesday night, and then We come back here for the championship race with the National Speed Association guys, presented by V Speed. Make sure you check them out. The link is down in the description. All kinds of cool stuff going on over there, Chris. And then we're off again for Thanksgiving. And then we come back and we hit it heavy there with the Racing for a Cause guys as they continue on their Wednesday night Eastern Championship right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
And until next Monday night, it's Chris and Rick saying, have a good night, everybody.